got an article and from the New York Times that read Kim Kardashian West's interest in the case of Alice Johnson, a 63-year-old Tennessee woman who, according to the non-profit project Can Do, was sentenced in 1996 to life in prison on charges related to cocaine possession and money laundering. So, my question to you guys this morning is: do you think that this is a publicity stunt, or do you think she is serious about prison reform?
When it comes to the Kardashians, you don't know what that means. I'm just putting that out there.
That's true.
But one thing for sure, we do need prison reform, and even if people like that are willing to,
Jump out there,
and try and embrace that, then I guess the least we can do is try and get behind it. Understand what their motives are first, and then
let's see if she really is trying to sell something, or she's trying to really get business well situated.
I believe that, in my honest opinion, I know that, I'm not sure if most of y'all know about the situation with Trump and Kanye. With Kanye just all of a sudden becoming a big old Trump fan, but right, whatever's going on in that area, I'm not sure, but I honestly believe that if that didn't get out, Kim Kardashian wouldn't even show her face.
Honestly,
I'm just saying, and maybe that helped her realize that maybe I do have a little say so based upon the relationship, or just based upon her celebrity status. Maybe that helped her realize that she does want something, and she does want this reform. I'm sure she always has, but maybe that situation kind of brought it out a little bit more, and she felt a little bit more eager, and
felt like she got a chance to actually, I know somebody that knows somebody type of situation.
So what was the woman's charges?
It was cocaine possession and money laundering.
How much cocaine did she have to have to get life?
To get life, yeah.
That had to be something.
It wasn't specific as to how much she had, but still, like,
was she black?
That is the question. That's the biggest question.
That is the biggest
sentencing
while being black.
Right.
Life. Only thing is, like, I think it would have been easier to start off with, like, the people that were sentenced for weed, because the weed starting to be legalized now. But I don't know exactly what the woman's predicament was. Was she just riding in the car with a boyfriend, and the boyfriend had pounds of cocaine on him, or what was going on with it? But the wind must have been blowing. Yeah, that's a hard case to try to get excused, try to get thrown out when it comes to cocaine, and then money laundering on top of that. I don't know. Kim probably trying to fight out something, but again, there's Donald Trump though. He might do it.
I mean, he's already pardoned that sheriff in Arizona, Joe Priel, whatever his name is.
Man, he pardoned everybody.
I mean, he's pardoned the wrong people. People that are willing to get behind him and continue to embrace his crazy messages. And we're also concerned of whether or not he'll be pardoning these people that are involved in the Russian investigation. He's been trying everything in his power to sabotage that. From claiming from spies to, claiming that the FBI is corrupt, talking about a deep state. And, and he's always bringing Obama in there saying that he's been sabotaging his campaign from minute one. You just can't get Obama out of his mouth or something.
Right. So for our listeners, you all can't see the picture that I'm about to show everyone here, but I just want everybody to look at this right here, and then we're just gonna discuss it briefly.
Read the title. Wow.
So.
Let me see.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I got a notification on Twitter, and it says that a man is sentenced to 90 days of house arrest after rape of 5-year-old.
90 days of house arrest.
90 days of house arrest.
Now, if it had been a black guy.
That's what I was getting.
That'd been
So
90
y'all
years
can't
of
see the picture. The picture that is right in front of my face it looks like a white man, probably between the age of 50 and 70. And, he's got this little mug on his face, but the thing is, why is he sentenced to 90 days of house arrest? House arrest for the rape of a 5-year-old. If that was a African American, it would have been over with.
You would have gotten a death penalty.
Yes. If that, you know what I'm
They would've
saying?
taken it to
They would have took
the most
everything from him.
extreme.
But 90 days of house arrest, what is that? Is that even discipline? He probably stays at the house anyway.
Yeah.
It's a double standard.
Honestly.
It is,
I mean,
but 90 days though.
90 days?
Like that's
What?
crazy. They must don't think he's gonna live that long.
Maybe he has terminal cancer or something. I don't
Even
know.
I feel like it's
He should go to jail
It's
anyway.
deeper, but even still, I don't even care.
The-
Just reading the caption alone is just very upsetting.
The punishment doesn't fit the crime
At all.
And think about that little girl and her parents. You know, I mean, what they got? She's gonna have to grow up with this. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna remember it or not. Maybe she won't, but you know, that's something she gotta live with for the rest of her life.
Scar and stuff like that lives on the
Shoot, memory
subconscious
starts
for a
at
long
3.5
time.
at the latest. She gonna remember that.
Let me get in here and flip the script on y'all a little bit. How about talking about the difference in drugs on black campuses and white
Oh
campuses?
my goodness. Oh right. You know what? Guest speaker
come
back.
on back in.
Anna Rainbow is back. She jumped up to that. The differences in drugs on black college campuses and white college campuses.
So, you know, I go to Fisk University, and there's plenty of colleges around Fisk University. So I went to a music festival at Vanderbilt, which is a predominantly white private school. And while at Vanderbilt, you know, I was, you know, excited about, seeing all the, celebrities and, all the musicians that were going to be there. But another thing that I saw was so many different drugs that I have never, ever seen before. Like, I'm telling you, like, these kids were just popping pills right in front of me, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I witnessing? And, like, this one child, not even a child, looked like a child.
Yeah.
He looked like a child, but he was a college student. He took out this little pack thing and was sniffing it. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And it's like, it's acceptable there. It's okay. Security, is right there looking, and they, not doing anything, not saying anything. And it's like the fact that, like you said, double standards, it's okay for them to, doing all these different types of drugs at these campuses, and they get away with it when, like on our campus, we don't have, on a HBCU campus, you don't see crazy, all that type of stuff.
Right.
But like, they always presume that we are the crazy ones. We do all the, crazy stuff, and it's like, no, look over here, and you guys are doing all this crazy stuff, and it's nothing. It's all what's chemical, made in the lab. Who knows the home lab? Who knows where the all this stuff is made?
Weed is natural.
It's the healing plant.
It's almost like what Dave Chappelle said. A black guy doing smoking weed in front of a cop. You can't do that. That's a waste of weed.
But yeah, I mean, like, I've seen it too. I've seen the difference. I didn't party hard. Well, I ain't party hard to where I was doing any like extracurricular drugs. But I mean, I didn't seen the difference to where like when you're around like black people, like the most thing that black people want to do is like just smoke weed. And then you got all these other drugs out there. I went to a predominantly white party one time, and it was just crazy. Like the things that I've seen, the things that you just see just go down there is just it's out of the norm. Like that that you don't fit there, you don't belong there just because of what it is. And all those drugs is really harmful if you really look at it. Is exactly what they're doing to your body. It's just like doing meth or doing I think ecstasy is something like doing meth. It's pretty much
Ecstasy is crack.
yeah, it's crack. That's even worse. But yeah, I mean, like that's why another thing is that it's this war on drugs. And it's still going on. It's still going on today. This war on drugs, but that's just a cover to just try to get into the black community and to just mess up what we got going on when it's a lot more dangerous things going on in the white community.
Right.
Sure.
You're right.
I agree with you. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Ashley Gale. I just graduated from Lane. But when I grew up in the suburbs in Atlanta. So
Get on
like,
mic. Get on mic.
I grew up in the suburbs in Atlanta, so like I experienced a lot of the stuff going on in the white community. So one of the first things I've noticed coming from an area that's predominantly white and going to an HBCU is the fact that when I was in high school, people were going to rehab for drugs and alcohol, like at a very young age. Like I'm not talking even like a senior in high school, I'm like sophomore, freshman year. And then I come here and like all y'all, like it's like weed, alcohol, that's it. But like I seen pills, all kinds of stuff, crack, all the stuff like that in high school. In the bathrooms, like you just walk in there and you would see stuff like that, and it'd be crazy. You come here and there's nothing here. And then like also like where I grew up, I didn't really have like a lot of interaction with people from different environments, like black people from different environments. So when I came here, it was a culture shock to see how like it's not like how they perceive black people in the white community is completely different than what we are. Like in the white community, we're seen like such demonized and so like angry all the time, but most of the time it's like you get angry when people are messing with you because white people come in and they're like, you gotta follow the rules, but it's like, are these your rules or are these my rules? Like it's a different thing. So it's like just the white community is so different, and it's like they need to stop pointing their fingers at us and realizing that the fingers really should point at them. Like one of the biggest things, like DJ Tuck is my boyfriend, so like me and him talking, he's from Detroit. I found this.
Well, you just messed up his rap.
I don't care.
Well, you messed up your rap.
What about Mac Two-Tone? Mac Two-Tone's my best friend too. So like we also came from predominantly white schools, so I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about too. Like both of us grew up in an area that was like we were always demonized. Like we always had to walk on a thin line because we were scared that we were gonna get in trouble. Like one step out of line is like, oh, you can. Well, I mean, you don't care, but I like. Like especially like my parents were strict too, so it's like you can't come out of line because they're gonna come tell your parents like everything. Like just one little thing. I think I said one cuss word and I got like almost expelled from school. And the reason why I said the cuss word was because two white boys were bullying me and pushing me down and like all kinds of stuff. And it's just like they're so ready to push like, you're in trouble, you're black, you're the bad person, that they don't even give you a chance to like, hey, it's not even my fault. Like look at yourself first.
I feel that. Like just like Ashley said, I grew up in the suburbs as well. You know, when I was 4 years old, I moved out the hood. My dad was blessed with a government job, so we moved to a predominantly white neighborhood. But growing up, you know, I've always been in public schools besides 3 years of my life, and that was 7th grade through 9th grade. And I went to a school called Prince Avenue, and I'm not afraid to say this school because I didn't like the school. It was just straight racism the whole time I was there. I played basketball, so I dealt with a racist coach. You know, I dealt with. I had, you know, my middle school coach because it's a K4 through 12th grade, so it's a school where you got kindergartners, you got pre-K, and you got 12th grade in the same school. There's literally about 4 hallways. They're long, but there are 4 hallways that kind of separates the older kids and the younger kids. My very first time hearing about marijuana was at that school. My very first time hearing about cocaine, meth, all that other stuff, heroin. You go to the dugout and you got people shooting up their wrists. You got people shooting up. Like, I'm over here looking like, what's going on? Ain't y'all on the baseball team? And I'm looking and it's just white folks. We had some black people who went there, but then again, it was only like 6-7% black, and my family alone had 6 people in it. And then there was another black family, and they had 5 people in it. So right there, we majority of the vote. You know what I'm saying? And none of us was on that stuff.
Well, you had some friends.
Yeah, those were my only friends, my family. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess the other black folks who went there. But basically, the point that I'm trying to make is, you know, if I hadn't even gone to that school, I wouldn't have learned about those hard drugs until later on. But I was young, you know what I'm saying? I was about 12, 13, walking to the dugout, and that's my first time I seen somebody shooting up some coke. And I'm over here questioning. I go home and I'm asking my dad, hey,